Monat, the multi-level marketing company I was with for 5 years, they have a mission statement. Our mission is to help people everywhere enjoy beautiful, healthy, fulfilling lives through our exceptional, naturally based products, a fun and rewarding business opportunity, and a culture of family, service, and gratitude. This is Monat. You might still be questioning, how do you pronounce this? It stands for modern nature. Technically, you're supposed to pronounce it Monat, but I mean, who cares? Everybody knows when you say Monat, people understand. When I was in Monat, the very top of the pyramid is Tony Van Schoik, and she was my ultimate upline, the final hun. I would see her in my back office. If you could trace up through your uplines, whoever sponsored you all the way up to the top, and she was at the top of the pyramid. So I don't know if she was one of the first people that signed up, invited to be one of the first people that joins Monat, which is, this is what happens in pyramid schemes all the time. And then these people will say, I'm a leader. I approach this business with gusto. And because I chose to treat this business like a business and not a hobby, that's why I have success. It's like, no, that's actually incorrect. You started up with multiple multi-level marketing companies throughout the years, starting at the top. And so it's only natural that when you start at the top, people will be put underneath you. And so therefore, it is not a level playing field. You are also part of a criminogenic enterprise. You are defrauding people. And you're the top hun in Monat. So this is Tony Van Schoik. This is a short video clip from her YouTube channel here. And you're in for a treat because the title of this video is called Business Ethics, Tony's Top Tips. And I thought, because once you leave a commercial cult like Monat is, and it's also a pyramid scheme, a very clear, obvious pyramid scheme, like all multi-level marketing companies are, they like to redefine words. And sometimes when people that are in multi-level marketing, like Tony Van Schoik, they will use words and they think that if they use the word and if they use it frequently, it somehow makes it like they own that word. If I use the word ethics, that means I have ethics. When in fact, when a scammer uses the word ethics, what they're doing is deflecting attention away from what their scammy behavior by saying, it's like, oh, well, they use the word ethics. That must mean what their behavior is ethical. And I know on the outside of this, you're like, Julie, oh my God, like this is so obvious. It's so stupid. People can understand this, but you don't understand this. You don't understand this if you've never been exposed to a commercial cult. If you haven't, if you've had positive or not even, it could be positive experiences with multi-level marketing growing up. And what I mean by that is a lack of education around the damage that they do. And there's a reason why it's a multi-billion-dollar fraud going on throughout multi-level marketing. Notice I didn't use the word industry because it isn't an industry. It's very important to get our language back for how we describe these commercial cults. If it was so obvious, if it was such an obvious thing that these are scams, there wouldn't be people continuing being recruited into multi-level marketing company after multi-level marketing company. They wouldn't have your friends and family. They wouldn't be coming to you asking you to join yet another multi-level marketing scam. You wouldn't be avoiding them because they're posting on Facebook, on Instagram, all about this new life-changing opportunity. This is still going on strong. And it is not it's not okay to keep blaming the victims of these scams. We do become manipulators, perpetrators of these scams as well, but it's because these structures exist in the first place. This is a much more complicated discussion to have than just continually looking at people in multi-level marketing, huns their behavior and making fun of them and saying, and being so aghast and surprised that people are leveraging, exploiting family members' death to sell products. This should not be a new topic or this big aha realization. This shit has been going on for decades and it will continue to go on because these enterprises are commercial cults. The discussion needs to move to why this behavior happens in the first place, where you get normal individuals and suddenly their behavior completely transforms. Their personality changes. I couldn't even say the word personality. I got so jacked up. Their personality changes. You see them. Like, who are you anymore? I don't know who you are anymore. The old you would never have used your son's death, your daughter's death, your father's death, your mother's illness to sell products. And yet everybody behaves the same way. And a problem in using terms like brainwashing, mind control, and the word cult is that people outside of multi-level marketing that are so aghast and appalled that people behave this way, when the only explanation to this behavior is because these enterprises are commercial cults, will say, well, that's just too harsh. I mean, it's culty. It's not really a cult. This belief system is also part of the problem, because using words like MLM industry and it's a business and it's a business model is feeding into its legitimacy and credibility. It's a scam. Just as when you're multi-level marketing, you're not a business owner. Neither is the multi-level marketing industry. It's not an industry. The multi-level marketing has been so successful in rewiring everybody's brains, even people that think I would never get sucked into this. This is so obvious to me. You keep calling it an industry and a business model. You're already affected. And people believe that using those words are more credible and believable than the actual truth. The lie has become more believable than the truth, which is that these are commercial cults and this is mind control. And it's been going on for decades, and you can trace it all the way back to Amway. So let's look at what Tony has to say, and let's pull apart what she talks about business ethics.
Hey, y'all, it's Tony with Tony's Tips. So I want to talk to you about something, and we kind of see this running around personally here in this area, but I want to talk about ethical integrity. And so that means
ethical integrity. I just want to look up the word ethical too. What is the definition of ethics? Start off with that. Moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. So moral principles that govern a person's behavior. Oops. What is the definition of integrity? The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. It's ironic, isn't this, coming from somebody in a pyramid scheme that uses gaslighting, shame, insult, guilt, need to be right, defrauding people, talking about ethics and integrity. This is classic multi-level marketing. This is what you'll see, the continuing kind of indoctrination that the people at the very top, because they wield a lot of power to those below them. It doesn't need to be a direct relationship, because most of this activity is happening on social media. So the power, it's great. So even though you look and you might be thoroughly unimpressed, make no mistake, she has a lot of influence over a lot of people.
Means is that when you want to start something else, finish what you're doing before.
Where this is stemming from is that people are leaving Monat. So when you want to start something else, finish what you've started. This is another like kind of thought-stopping cliche that I see in multi-level marketing. It's all about controlling your behavior. Common pattern that you see in multi-level marketing is people will leave one multi-level marketing company and go to another, and they'll bring their whole team with them. And they'll use God as an excuse, because you can't argue that God is giving you personal direction, and everybody does it. You can look up any company on Facebook and just see an exodus en masse from one company to another. And usually it's always the same thing. You'll see I haven't been happy for months. I prayed on this. It took me, I didn't want to, I wasn't looking for another opportunity, but finally I had to listen to God. I had to do this for my team. My team wasn't winning. The culture just changed. The products were different. It was a mean girl culture. It's always something that their behavior is justified. But when you're sitting at the top of one of these pyramid schemes, you don't want to have people leaving. So you have to blame them for some reason. You have to say, how can I make them stay? You need to stay in this industry long enough, and then you will see success. Because if you quit, you will never know. You could have just been one message away from recruiting the rock star superstar that would have catapulted you up to senior executive director. And you could have been on this personal, like, private jet, and we could be flying to Dubai right now to hang out with the Urdanata family. Woo! Let's party with Monat. But no, you chose to leave. You had to finish. So this is all this is about controlling your behavior. Behavior, information, thought, emotional control. Stephen Hassan's BITE model, going along the influence continuum. It's not good to finish what you start. It's an old way of thinking. It's one of those things like eat all the food on your plate because there's children in Africa that are starving. You can find something that you don't like, and it's good if you have the self-awareness to not gaslight yourself or be coerced into continuing to do something that you've already ascertained is ineffective and perhaps harmful to you. It's not healthy, and it's not good advice to finish what you start. It's not a test of your ethics or your integrity or your superiority or your inner strength. It's just about you being malleable, coachable, leadable, turning you into a sheep by making you feel like a leader. It's not good to keep going when you're digging a hole and the walls, you're in a pit. It's like you're digging your own grave and the piles of dirt are getting higher and higher up. And you're like, you don't know. You might just like pop through to the other side of the world if you just keep digging. So this is her attempt to stem the flow of people leaving Monat to go to another company. And this happens all the time. It doesn't matter what multi-level marketing company you're in. And it happens, and it's been happening for decades. It's how Amway started. DeVos and Van Andel, they took 5,000 of their downline from Nutrilite to start Amway. And then people took off from Amway and they continue to just branch. They start more and more multi-level marketing companies. So it actually does benefit them a great deal. It just doesn't benefit people at the top of the pyramid like Tony.
I can tell you, I've been a result of a marriage that was, that he didn't finish the relationship before he started another one, and then another one, and then another one.
So this has absolutely nothing to do with multi-level marketing, but what this has everything to do with is emotional manipulation. Keep in mind, all cults, they use deception and they prey on your emotions as well. So what's a great way? Ooh, I know what I can do is I can talk about abuse. Someone in here, most people have been through some kind of like something big, because that's what multi-level marketing companies love to prey on, is our vulnerabilities. Somebody in here is going to be abused. Ooh, I'm going to remind them of this by telling them a story that may or may not even be true about a marriage I was in. All she needs to do is get a hook. So she's going to be throwing in various hooks. This is how cults work. And this is how commercial cults work. And this is how Monat works. And this is from the very top of the pyramid. So she's endorsed, like they sanction her behavior. Monat completely needs this behavior in order to run. Multi-level marketing companies need people to behave like this. This is the only way they can retain people. Even with all of this, there's still such a significant churn rate through every multi-level marketing company each year. People stay and they leave. They stay and they leave, but they keep thinking it's their fault. So she's like, it was my husband's fault. He didn't stay in. He started another one. What in the world does this have anything to do with staying in Monat and paying for your Monat market partner renewal fee? Lie to people, tell them that they can become a senior executive director if they only, we don't recruit, we sponsor people here. It's my hope that as you start to encounter these kinds of tactics out in the real world, you'll be able to be like, this is what it is. If you even just think of behavior, information, thought, emotional control in every encounter you make with people, just be like, why would they be bringing this up? This is critical thinking.
My whole thing is that this holds true for personal relationships along with business relationships. So
if you are being abused, let's just use her analogy. Stay with it until the end. You need to finish it. No, you can't leave. That's a sign of weakness. Don't you leave. He might turn a new leaf, or she might turn a new leaf. They might turn a new leaf. What is this? What is this about? This is just weak. It's so manipulative. So she's trying to like, she sprinkled in abuse without mentioning it, but that's what's implied and everybody understands it. And then making like you connecting the dots to your business, to the Monat business. So if you've been seeing, well, my checks aren't increasing, I've been at this for 5 years now, I haven't been able to recruit anybody. There must be something wrong with my mindset. I see other people speaking out about pyramid schemes and anti-MLM, but I can't hear what they're saying because they're so angry. They're just haters. I don't like feeling that way. I don't like thinking. I wasn't like this before. I never talked about people as just haters and I wouldn't even be able to listen to them. What's going on with my mind? It's because you've been in a commercial cult.
In every aspect of life, there's always an exit strategy, but don't start something before you finish one thing. Yeah,
you can. And I can think of multiple examples even outside of multi-level marketing that you could do. So you could start a new job before you exit your multi-level marketing company. So you have some kind of cushion, so you're starting at having a new beginning. It's funny how it's like the only examples that she can think of is it's like a husband cheating on her or people leaving Monat. Isn't that horrific? Wow.
That part to me speaks hugely to who you are as a person, right? So you can't go
the judgmental, and this is like that where she purports to be very Christian, whatever this definition of Christianity is, most judgmental. So because somebody decides something, you get to judge. So I do not know. I can't like recite Bible passages, but I can pretty confidently say that Jesus wouldn't be condoning you saying this, lecturing people. Oh, this speaks to how you don't know anything about a person's situation. This could be literally a life and death decision for them. Are they supposed to continue to stay in Monat and go bankrupt? Maybe get a second or a third or a fourth mortgage so you can qualify as a senior executive director again? Is that what they're supposed to do? Is that a reflection on their ethics and integrity? What if they're fleeing like a domestic abuse, domestic violence relationship? They should stay there? Who are you to judge and lecture on someone on what they choose to do? You should turn that finger and point it to yourself. I think I'm more Christian than you.
And cheat on a significant other. You can't go out and, start another business and screw other people over.
No, but you can get in at the beginning of a pyramid scheme and continue to exploit people and lie to them and deceive them. You can pepper in your swear words to show, flex how, strong you are and how of an empowered woman you are. But it's an act and it's fucking unimpressive. It's a joke. You're manipulating people. You're sad because you're getting scammed now. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm losing my money. The scammer is losing money. And so now you got to flex on a 1.5 minute video that was uploaded to where Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, because you're like such an amazing marketer, social marketing. So it's so effing simple. You just like post the same piece of content across all different social media platforms. And it's just such a brilliant strategy. More people are waking up and they're not going to be intimidated by this laughable display of pretend leadership. You're a joke and you're hurting a lot of people. And you're going to need to make amends. This is not, the more I see about this like faith-based manipulation and spiritual abuse, the more I can see it's like, how are you going to make amends? How do you sleep at night? How do you look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh, God is telling me this? Is really God telling you that this is okay to talk to people like this? People that are leaving Monat to go to another company, you feel that you have a divine right, that you can talk to them like this. You really think you're above people. You're not above anyone. Or are you above God? Are you above Jesus? Is Jesus on your side too? Would Jesus come down and talk to everybody like this? You're you're very quick to be pointing out all this, like, this ministry and how, and it's all loving and that, but then you do shit like this. No. You'd be one of the first people that would be pointed out, be like, you get the fuck out. What is it? The flipping of the tables in the temple or whatever the fuck? You're so full of shit. This is the S word, shit. This isn't even spelt right. There's too many fucking asterisks.
Part to me is shitty. And especially in my main industry that I love, a lot of times I see people that they get, they get stuck, or they plateau
because they're in a pyramid scheme. They get stuck. They're not stuck. They're exactly where they're supposed to be. This is the only way these scams work. And on the whole, most people get in at the beginning. But it doesn't matter, even if people do get in later on and they still manage to get to the top. The percentages are what is important. The percentages never change. The vast majority of people have to lose. You are in a criminal enterprise. You are defrauding people. You know what a pyramid scheme is. Most of the money is coming from the people at the top. They're taking the money from the people to pay the people at the top through the guise of products. All these Monat products, all these products that you'd show in your team triumph and try to woo people to sign up VIP customers and Monat market partners. Get this Louis Vuitton bag. I'm such a good leader, you guys. Look at all the new holiday gift sets I've purchased to give to my friends and family, because everybody wants Monat from a multi-level marketing company. You should be buying all these products too. Guess what, guys? We sold out. We have a new industry disrupting product, and all of it's been sold out before it's even been released to the public. Imagine that, because that's what happens in every single multi-level marketing company. It's the same story over and over and over again. You're taking the money from the people at the bottom to pay yourself. This is nothing at all like having a job. This is a pyramid scheme. And it is shitty.
Or whatever the case is. And then they try to reap that paycheck, but they go on and do a different MLM. Y'all, I'm telling you right now, that's career suicide. It's complete career suicide.
So that's where it ended. Isn't that funny how she chose to end on the word suicide? You can always count on multi-level marketing, people in multi-level marketing, especially people at the top or coaches, to try to just mess you up emotionally. It's meant to make you stop thinking. That was her top tips. It just ended there after a minute and a half. It's just career suicide. Don't be in 2 multi-level marketing companies. Why? So in her description, I looked on the YouTube description, and it says that it goes against guidelines. It doesn't go against guidelines, though. You can be in part of more than more than one multi-level marketing company until you get to a certain rank within Monat. The way she's speaking, it's like all multi-level marketing companies. It doesn't go against their guidelines. Maybe your guidelines, because you don't want people to leave Monat. But that's it. So that's that video. I didn't watch it. This was a blind reaction. And of course it ends with the S word at the end. This is predictable cult behavior, because these are all commercial cults. The reason why people stay, the reason why people behave the way they do, is because they're commercial cults. I would like the conversations to be centered around how these companies continue to exist, instead of continuing to blame the victims that are behaving this way. And that's what I have to say today. Thank you for watching.